Hello everyone, how you doing? This is part 3 on what happened at the UMass Dining Blue Wall Cafe at the campus center. Yes, I know people are asking me for part 3, and there are people asking me why I'm creating a part 3. Let me tell you something. When somebody wants part 3, do I have the right to do it or not do it? Yes, I have the right to do it or not do it. But 200 people have asked me to make a part 3. And at least one person saying, why is there a part 3? But either way, like I said, I'm just glad I did what I did and making a video about something positive and being proud of myself for what I did. There's no shame in that, and there's nothing wrong with it. So people need to stop making a big deal about, people making a video about what they're proud of or what they're proud of doing, and stuff like that. And like, especially if it's positive. And speaking of, doing positive things, look what I'm wearing. See this? This is a hockey jersey from Jersey Ninja. And I wore this on 9/11, 2021. Yes, the 20th anniversary of 9/11. I'm doing that in honor to those that lost their lives on that day. Not to mention, I lost a couple of relatives on that day, which is why it took a little bit to make part 3 of this video. I'll say it again. The reason why it took a little longer to make part 3 of this video because I myself lost a couple of relatives on that day at 9/11 because they were working the World Trade Center that day. And see, two of my relatives told me to always stand up to what I believe in. Two of my relatives that died that day on 9/11. Yeah, and that's what I do continue. That's what I do to continue to honor them. That's my way. And also, another, reason of part 3 is show, to show people that, you know, always be proud of what you do. Always be proud. And like I said, I'm not showing off or anything like that. I'm not showing off. I'm just proud of what I did. That's all. And I'm not going to let anyone discourage me, from making videos about something positive. I just keep moving on. That's what I'll do. And, as myself, as a Boston Athletic Association marshal, like I said, I'm trained to do stuff like that. I'm trained to act when something like that happens. That's what I'm trained to do. Not to mention, if you see something, say something. But I just want to remind everyone that see something, say something is not meant to target anyone. That's not what it's meant to do. So, like I said, I'm not letting anyone discourage me. I will never let anyone discourage me. Period. And also, from what I've heard, looks like, you know, UMass Dining in general is doing a little bit better because I've been informed that they finally refilled the fountains, drinks, and everything like that. From what I've heard. if that's true, it's a good thing because like I said in the part one and part two of the videos, that students and parents pay a lot of money for the meal plans, and and they're having that problem with the fountain drinks. But people waiting in line to get something to eat, you know, continues to be a problem. And from what I from what I can see is the university probably wasn't prepared for that amount of crowd of students. Not to mention that all the freshmen, as well as sophomore slash freshmen. Excuse me, I should have called them freshmen. I should call them first years. Sorry. Yeah, I should say all the first years as well as first years slash sophomores because really, you know, from what I've heard, the campus has been really crowded, and even on all the buses going through campus, around campus, as well as off campus, all the buses have been crowded. All the local buses. Not to mention that, Uber and Lyft in that part of Massachusetts, which is the western part, yeah, they've been lacking a lot. Not that many. Like maybe there's a few, but not as many before the pandemic. And see, this is one of the main reasons why I've been pushing for better public transportation statewide. Not just Eastern Mass, not just Central Mass, not just Western Mass, throughout the entire state of Massachusetts. Because really, better transportation can also help rebuild the state's economy as well as help the state's economy recover from the pandemic shutdown and possibly help them prepare for another possible shutdown due to Delta variant. See, that's what it is. I will show you my petitions throughout social media, and I will share it with everyone by email, from by requests. But me, like I said, the purpose of part three is to remind everyone that I'm proud of what I did. There's no shame on making a video about being proud of what I did. And I encourage others to do the same as well. And hey, if it made some people at Blue Wall Cafe look stupid, I apologize. That was not my intentions. No, my intention was to help the employee that was breathing heavily, and I say thank goodness it wasn't as bad as I thought. I'm just glad it wasn't as bad as I thought. I'm glad the employee is well and back to work. But as far as UMass Dining in general goes, they need to do something with these lines. They need to find out another solution because really, nobody should be waiting hours in line just to get something to eat or drink, whether it's Blue Wall Cafe or the Dining Commons. Because from what I've heard, some of the students been living off Cliff Bars, fast food, DoorDash, etc. Now, how are you gonna pay all that money for meal plans and you're probably not getting your money's worth? I'm like, yes, I understand there's not enough staffing at UMass Dining in general, but let me tell you something. I want to remind UMass Dining management as well as other employers across the nation. If you're hiring, be honest. If somebody's calling you and show that they're interested, and if you're telling them, oh, we have nothing for you. You know what that is? False advertising. That's what it is. I'll say it again. If you're putting now hiring ads, and when people call and you're telling them they have nothing for them, that would be false advertising. That would be. And at this time, I highly and strongly encourage Mass Hire to get on employers' case about hiring people. You know, especially those who are willing to get off unemployment to seek a job. Because if you do have people calling saying they're interested, they should be hired immediately. Because really, it's not unemployment. I'll say it again, it's not unemployment, it's the problem. It's some employers telling applicants they have nothing for them, they're not hiring, or they claim they moved on to other candidates. And guess what? I still see ads that says now hiring. Man, we gotta do something about that, for real. Seriously. So that's my message to UMass Dining as well as other employees across the nation. And let me say this again. If you really want more help, then all employees must be treated equally. And see, that's what makes me sick about the people in the high class. They don't seem to realize how furloughs like that impact people financially. And when the furloughs happened, I didn't like the fact that they were targeting the middle class workers as well as the low class workers, because that's just wrong. I'm like, next time you have to do a furlough, go after the ones with the highest paychecks first. That's the way to do it. See, that's why I'm proud to be a middle class person, because when you're a middle class person like myself, you always find creative ways to make things better, as well as make a difference. Because see, I was put on this earth to help make a difference. I take pictures and videos to help make a difference. That's what I do. And there's no shame in that. No shame. So really, we'll see how the 2021 fall semester goes. Hopefully, things will get better. Because UMass, as well as the 5 college system, they're definitely going to need more buses, whether if it's local or intercity. I'll say it again. The UMass system, as well as the 5 college system, they're going to need a lot more buses, as well as trains, etc., to help accommodate the 5 college students, families, friends, employees, as well as the general public. Because we need all that to help it accommodate. And another thing I really don't like hearing and seeing people saying, get a car, or posting on social media saying, get a car, because in my book, that's stigmatism right there. That is. And in case some of you haven't heard, that Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker has activated the National Guard to help assist with the transportation problems for school children. Now, how I feel about that, here's what I say. With hand signals. That's saying so, because really, National Guard is really for emergencies. That's what National Guard men and women are trained for. But in a way, they're out there to help the community as well. So I would say so. But, there are some backlash towards that, you know, which you can't blame them for that. But really, we got to do better with transportation statewide. We got to do better with that. And UMass system in general, they need to do better with the leadership. And I call for better leadership, new leadership, because the fact that they canceled the student tailgates, if I'm not mistaken, Student Village, you know, like what? Last minute advance? Nah. If they want to make cancellations like that, you got to do it at least 48 hours in advance, not at the very last minute. Not to mention that it made things worse, because when that got canceled, it went poured all over to all the off-campus housing and apartments, and it was a huge crowd. Yeah, parents weren't happy about it, students weren't happy about it, as well as Amherst area residents weren't happy about it, because all the videos and photos on social media, it was a massive crowd. In in the town of Amherst, Massachusetts, they want to blame this restaurant slash bar, and then in that establishment voluntarily closed because they felt that they're being blamed for something they had no part of, when it's really the University of Massachusetts Amherst is to blame, because that video and photos of that whole massive gathering at one of the off-campus apartment complex, it was huge. I'm like, not to mention that the great majority weren't even wearing masks. I'm like, although Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker lifted all the COVID restrictions and ended state emergency, but still. And it's very interesting that the Massachusetts governor hasn't stepped in about, mask mandates. He's just letting cities and towns across Massachusetts make their own decisions. But, really, people, like I said, I'm going to continue to make a difference. I'm going to continue to be a positive, role model, and as well as changes, everything like that. That's what I'll do. No one's going to discourage me. I'm proud of what I did. See, that's why I'm here on Earth. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm still here today. So at this time, I'm just going to stop this video. And like I said, I'm proud of what I did. I know people are probably tired of hearing that. But before I end this video, I want to give a shout out to Amber Nova, my favorite AEW diva, wrestling diva. Great to meet her at Zombie Hideout in Springfield, Massachusetts. My favorite wrestling icon, Hulk Hogan. Yeah, that's right. He's the reason why I started watching wrestling. Also, Brooke Hogan, his daughter. It was great to meet her. It was an honor to meet her at the same place, Zombie Hideout, out there in Springfield, Massachusetts. And I'd like to give all the shout outs to the actors in SWAT, Law and Order SVU, as well as Law and Order Organized Crimes, and as well as the All Law and Order series. Also give a shout out to actors in One Chicago, Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, Chicago Med. And I also want to give a shout out to Wahlberg, one of the members of the New Kids on the Block. Oh, oh, oh. The right stuff. Not to mention, he's one of the huge stars in Blue Bloods. And like I said, I apologize I couldn't make it to his concert at Fenway Park. But yeah, you know, like I said, man, shout out to all those right there. Shout out to the Celtics. Jason Tatum played a huge role in the Olympics. Tom Brady, a huge shout out. Rob Gronkowski, huge shout out. Mac Jones, you're the man. You're the man, Mac Jones. Keep it up. I'm glad you threw your first career touchdown in a season opener. It's just that fumble is what killed us. But we got this in game 2. Or excuse me, week 2. And Bruins, I know it was a tough loss against the Islanders, but we got this. We got this. And as for UMass Amherst hockey, I'm calling this already. They're going to be the 2022 national champions. That's right, a two-peat. You heard that, a two-peat. That's what's going to happen. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. But anyways, for those of you that support my videos and appreciate everything I do, I know I can't take off this mask and smile, but I can give a thumbs up. That's all I can do. But anyways, I gotta call it, and I just want to remind everyone, there won't be part 4. Sorry. So be safe, be well, wash your hands, take care of yourself and each other. Thank you.